Thank you guys for all being here. I know the majority of the people in this room, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Usher. I'm a fourth-year dental student here at ASCO, UT Still University, and I'm really heavily involved with Special Olympics and this R-word campaign that you guys have been hearing so much about this past week, Spread the Word to End the Word. And today we have two very special guests with us, Dr. Tim Lukowski, who's our dentist and clinical director across the street, and Mr. Dan Capali right here, athlete and coach with Special Olympics. So I would just like to once again thank you guys for being advocates and bringing awareness to dehumanizing language that we use every day as students, as faculty, and as staff, and taking the opportunity to really be aware of this language that we do use or we might use, and to make a stop to it, end the R word and spread the new R word, which is respect. So without further ado, please help me and welcome you, Dr. Tim Lukowski.
Howdy, guys. All right. Well, I'm trying to find the button here. Am I live? Everybody hear me all right? All right. I was going to say good morning just to see how many people were staying awake. But let's start out with good afternoon. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our meeting. I'm humbled and I'm freaked out that I'm here. I'm going to try to behave myself. It's being taped. I was warned to keep it under control. So we're going to go ahead and start with a little presentation. Some of it is from our department. And just real quick, I have to do a disclaimer. We have a lot of people from our department. And like Kathy over here, Kathy, I promised Kathy I wouldn't draw any special attention to her or point her out anyway. Can everybody know who Kathy is? We don't just treat her like Mickey the Mope. Okay, Kathy, I just wanted to make sure you knew I kept my word. All right. And then we got Liz right next to Kathy over there, and Karen Falone. And anybody else from special needs here, guys? How's that? And Pete. Yeah, that's right. Amen, amen, amen. All right, well, we are very fortunate that we have a university that has dedicated an entire department and staff and the resources to reach out to this community. Historically, I believe we've turned a blind eye, and we're trying to right that wrong. And so once again, I'm so grateful to be here. I will just real quickly make a real quick disclaimer too. Believe it or not, I spent a year of my life as a quadriplegic. I broke my neck, and so I know what it's like to be in a mechanically, electronically driven wheelchair. And so I've had the opportunity to be kind of a little bit on both sides of that fence. And so I'm so grateful that we have a university that makes that the cornerstone, I think, of what we are. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Oh, that's me. I'm that ugly goat. And this is Darren, one of our patients, and we literally did a full out. There's Kathy, who I promised not to draw attention to, and one of our patients. Now, this is my dear friend Lee Casey. He's blind, and he's driving my dune buggy. That's me right there. And he is. And then this is one of our students, little Jimmy just woke up from surgery. This is Scott, one of our patients. And here we are at I think, Surprise, Arizona, right? Right? Okay, wonderful. Right. And so our university is very active in reaching out to the community as well as operating here. And so I just wanted you to be able to see that our university is very dedicated to this population. We're very proud of it. We had the athletes here yesterday, and those videos will come up the photographs will come up pretty quickly as well. So you'll literally be able to see just yesterday what we were doing here on site. This is, I believe, in Surprise, Arizona. And here's some of our staff, Miley and Mark Schlossman as well, and our students. And so it's not only do we have a department that we take care of all of these needs, we also move into the community and promote that as well. Here's one of Dr. Clark. He's a pedodontist and is very active with us as well. So as these are going, I'm just going to let you kind of enjoy seeing how involved all of our faculty and students are in taking care of this population. But I also I wanted to make sure that there's some great quotes oops, Chris, what did I do, man? See, they know not to let me have electronic devices. I'm safe with a drill. Take that away from me. I'm safe with a drill, but not electronic devices. What I wanted to do is I wanted to quote some great people. Abraham Lincoln said that no man stands taller than when he kneels to help a child in need. And I thought that was really cool. It's something we believe in. There's another great quote that I use a lot, and that is, I can't do what you can do, and you can't do what I can do. But together, we can do great things. And so that's what I feel like about our university. Here's yesterday, guys. That's how I feel about our university. It's how I feel about our department. We don't have a good department. We don't have a good university. We have a great university. And I don't work with good people. I work with great people. And they're not just weekend warriors. They walk the walk. They do the talk. And and we also play together. We work together. And I think we could all learn a thing or two that we can only learn from getting outside of our comfort zone. And here we are, coming up on the race. We should have a tape here pretty quick. Oh, no, nice close-up. And isn't that great? Look at on her shirt, I believe. You know, that's something we need to see more of, is that we actually do believe. Here with the victory dance, right on. That's so cool, right? So, yeah, you know, sometimes you really have to ask yourself, what do you believe? You know, what do you believe? And this little girl just had a hip replaced just a while ago, and she was out running the obstacle course. I was like, wow. So, all right, I think that's almost there. Do I push the button now, Chris? Or? And then we'll move to the next. Oh, this is actually me and my littlest sister, Kathleen. And here she is as a child, and this is actually my family. You guys, there's a test. Which one do you think I am? That's me. Yeah, the turtleneck, right. This is my family, and then my littlest sister, Kathy, right there, is going to get the ice cream cone. And believe it or not, we killed the sound on this so that you could hear me talk. We probably shouldn't have. These were television shows we did as kids. And so back in the old days, you had syndicated tape, and you can see kind of how primitive it was. That lets you know how old I am. But originally, we were not allowed to have Kathy on any of the TV shows because it wasn't something that the public was ready for, is what we were told. And so literally, our family said, well, great, we're not doing any more TV then. And you have contracts with us. And so we'll just have your attorney talk to our attorney. And so finally, we were able to get Kathy to be part of the family that we needed to have. And so I just thought you'd get a kick out of, don't tell people what they can't do. Let them do what they can do, because they're destined to do great things. And if you want a good life, then settle for a good life. Me, I want a great life. I'm having a great life. I got a great family, and I have great, you students, whenever you don't believe in yourselves, we do. Because, I grew up in a family of 15, and I never thought I would go to college. And the only reason I ever went to college is because people believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And also, my little sister, Kathy, we used to have to travel 200 miles to find a dentist that would treat Kathy. And that dentist would always tell me, someday you're going to grow up to be a dentist. And he picked me out of the whole group. And I thought, that's weird. I just thought, I don't know what that guy's smoking. But he's righteous because he's taking care of my sister, and I love that guy. And it turned out he was my professor, and he stayed on me, and then he actually taught me to be a dentist back in Omaha, Nebraska. And there I am, that little lunatic there. So Chris was going to put a lot more embarrassing stuff in there. I'm kind of glad they didn't go any further than that. I know. That's why it's muted. I was like, you got to mute that, man.
I secretly enjoy putting this together.
And then my little brother that's playing the piano, he's actually a medical doctor, and my sister Mary Jane was a shrink, and my sister Nancy is a teacher, and Terry's a teacher, and Joni's a nurse, and I think the rest of them are accountants, which means that this time of year they don't have a life, right? But that's my gang. Is this about it, right? Can I? Oh, so I'll stop for that? Then don't click it? All right, let's do that. This is the song that Kathy performed on TV a number of times, and this is Kathy more recently, and there she is with her sisters. See, they're inking and having a good time. There she is. You couldn't let her get near a phone. That was not an option. Here we are. We're a mixed family, so we celebrate all the holidays. And here we are at home, growing up around the piano. And then here's just the girls being girls. Is that better? Oh, right on, right on. Yeah, I was trying to. Can you all hear that or not? This is the song Kathy would always sing. And that's us backing her up. And here this is last month. So we all grew up. There we are. Brother and sister. All right, guys, I would like to introduce Dan, and I want to let you know that Dan has been involved with Special Olympics for over 25 years, 30 years, 30 years, right on. And he was not only an athlete for the Bobcats in basketball, but now he's actually their coach since 2014, and he's completed training in September of 2013 as a leadership and program and coach class and healthy lifestyle class, and he is an ambassador as well. And his mom is here. Her name is Patricia, but she prefers to be called Pat. I have a sister named Pat, by the way, but then I had 9 sisters. Pretty safe, right? And then I just wanted to make sure Isaac, too, you mind standing up? He is our director of Special Olympics. And can you Isaac, you mind introducing the rest of your plan here?
Yeah, we have Krista Sanchez, Bruce Clark, and Jesse Thompson.
Well, first off, I am here to talk about one of the most disrespectful words in our language today, which is the R word. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I was struck down with a seizure disorder at age 2.5. And there was no medication at that time that could help me. I would have 100 seizures a day. But me and my parents flew to Minnesota to go to the Mayo Clinic. And the authority there told my parents to put me in an institution because I would not be able to do anything in my life. Not be able to get married, not be even to coach basketball, nothing. Not even be able to hold a job. But you know what? Those were fighting words to my parents. So, in the early grades, I was on a playground. A student, or a little boy, walked up to me and he said, "You're retarded." You know what? That day, I went home crying. My mom asked me why I was crying. I told her. I go, a little boy on the playground called me retarded. And of course, you know, I love my mom. She said, yes, you are. The next time you see that boy, say, yes, you are. Aren't you glad you're not? But, you know, I went to high school. I was in a program called Special Life Skills, which was at that time controversial. So people that had disabilities went through this program. They had special teachers that would teach the students. But I got involved in Special Olympics 30 years ago. But for 25 of those years, I played on a Special Olympic basketball team for the city of Scottsdale, which I am now the assistant coach for. I started as an assistant coach this year. So last year was my last year as a player, because I want to pass on what my knowledge of the game. And of course, in June of this year, me and my basketball team are going to nationals in New Jersey with all other 49 states. And, you know, when Isaac asked me to come here today to talk about the R word, I said, absolutely. Absolutely. Because this word needs to be changed. Regardless if it's respect or something else. But you know what? We need to get the word out. Because, you know, people like me, I mean, I guess I said before, a doctor said that I wouldn't be able to do anything. Not be able to get married, not be able to hold a job. My longest job was 11 and a half years. That was with Harkins Theaters. And they do hire people with disabilities. You know, and he's a great man. I don't know, I mean, I've heard a lot of bad things that people have said about him, but you know what? I don't believe any of them. Because Dan Harkins, he's a great man. I mean, I don't know what to say about him. But he's a great man. So if we could find a way to change the R word to mean respect, that would be great. Are there any questions? Yes?
How do you think we can best do that? As a community and as a health profession school, how do you think, what would you suggest that we do to change the R word even on our own campus?
I would say, you know, if you have to, have guest speakers talk about it. You know, or get somebody like me out in your community to talk about this word. I mean, matter of fact, talking about the R word, which leads me up to an article that was in Sunday's paper. There's a bill going to go through the Senate to change the term of the word handicap. You know, if we can do that, change the word like that, handicap, or the R word, I think that later on, down the road, words like that might mean something else. Anybody else? Yes.
When you hear, or have you heard people use the R word around you, and do you talk to them
Absolutely.
What do you say to them?
Okay, well, I have notes, but I'll tell you what my notes say. People in general, okay? People in general use the word retarded, okay? Use the word retarded freely. And they say, oh, that's so retarded. Well, if you have a person that has disabilities and is retarded and you say that around them, it doesn't make you a better person. It makes it, or hurts them, for one. And if you called me retarded, I'd go up to you and say, you know what? That's inappropriate. I have friends, even on my basketball team, that have heard that word, that hate that word. Matter of fact, there's a player on another team that plays for the Bobcats. And she was called retarded one time. You know what I told her when she told me? I go, you're not retarded. You're beautiful. So if you can say something positive instead of negative, you know, it's the best way. Matter of fact, Mom, can you see my phone? Now, to better answer your question, before my mom and I came here today, we stopped at a bakery called Neaters, just down the street. And they had all these plaques with all these different sayings. But I found one. It grabbed my attention. Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you can start having positive results. Does that better answer your question? If any of you know people that have disabilities, don't use that word. Take time to know a person that has disabilities, because I guarantee you, you will definitely learn a lot more from them than what they can learn from you. Matter of fact, my mom has learned a lot from me. And in the 43 years I have been her son, she's learned a lot from me. I mean, I don't know what more to say. It's just that this word, as I posted on the board out there, as an assistant coach, this word needs to be erased. That's how strongly I feel about this word. It's offensive.
About that, because people use offensive words. They say, oh, it's just a word, it doesn't mean anything. Well, they use it for something. But when you hear the R word, what does it mean to you? What is that word? What does it mean to your friends who are disabled, people that you know that are disabled?
Well, I did a little bit of research on the R word, on the word retarded. And back in the early 1970s, or maybe earlier than that, the word retarded was a medical term. Okay? That is to describe of how somebody was. You know? But now people use it freely for any reason. Oh, that's so retarded. Oh, you're retarded. Really? You know what? I got friends, as I said before, I got friends that hate that word. I hate that word. My parents hate that word. So that's why I came here today, to talk about the R word. Any more questions? Yes.
So instead of the R word, I'm using the word disabled. And over the years, there's been a movement to not use the word disabled because people certainly have the ability to do great things and all things.
Right.
What is favorable about the word disabled?
Well, I brought the article with me. It was in Sunday's paper. Matter of fact, let me look at it. Well, there's a bill, as I said earlier, that's going through the Senate. And using the word disability, it's, why not say person that has a handicap, or, that's better than saying disabled. And the word disable, and you know what? This is on a t-shirt that Special Olympic has. There's the word ability. You take the word dis, and you get the word ability. Athletes have the ability to do anything. And that's how I really feel about any of these words. So you have a student that has a disability. They don't really have a disability. They're able to do anything. And, I'm glad that I was given the opportunity to talk here today. Yes?
And can you tell us, I know this might be asking a lot, but can you tell us exactly how it makes you feel, or maybe you have examples of your friends, do they tell you how they feel, they really deep down, how it hurts them, or how they feel when they hear the word disability be described, to them, or the R word?
Well, more with the R word, they find it offensive. Because one time in their life, they were called retarded. Just like me. I was called retarded one time in my life. And I had two friends that I'm no longer friends with that use that word freely. I don't want to be friends that are going to use that word freely because it's offensive to me.
And one last thing, can you share with us any positive change that you've seen, things that have gotten better maybe in the past in your life? Maybe can you just share with us to kind of encourage us to change the way we see things, just some of your positive experiences?
Well, when I first started with Special Olympics, I thought I was only going to be an athlete. I thought there's no way ever that I was going to be a coach. Did I see it? If somebody told me 30 years, hey, in 2014, you're going to be a coach, you know what I would have told them? Yeah, right. But you know what? I'm an assistant coach. Matter of fact, when my former coach called me up and asked me if I would love to go to nationals as an assistant coach, I thought, yeah, let's do it. You know what? Also, I have a godson, and I'm going to teach him to not judge people regardless if they have a disability or not. That is the way that I want to put that word out now. I want to help the kids, the teenagers, the adults to understand that it's not okay to be able to talk about that word freely. In the best positive way, I'm glad I'm a assistant coach, because you know what? next year, I'm going to be coach of my team. And I figure if I'm going to be coach, I need to be a positive role model for my team. So if I think positive, I want them to think positive. And even if you guys do this next year, I may even bring my team. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
I just want to add one thing too. Growing up in a family with a sister with special needs enriched my family. My family, none of us would have gone on to do the things we did with our lives. She drove us, and she made us be better people. There was 4 boys, and we were farmers. We're from Iowa. So we would tend to mix it up, and we were not ever ashamed of going toe-to-toe. But when Kathy came along, you couldn't use foul language. You couldn't raise your voice. You couldn't because it hurt her so deeply. And so we had to learn to be more respectful, and we had to learn how to be a little bit more humble, and we had to be better people. And then her world was in Special Olympics, so that became part of our world. And so I absolutely would not be a dentist. I absolutely would not be the person I am today without my beloved little sister Kathy. So I will tell you, it enriches your life. And a lot of people want to have a good life. And I say, baloney, have a great life, have a great life. And these kids will lead you to greatness. In our clinic, there's never a day that we don't get hugged, kissed, and then, God forbid, you're Catholic, I see the ashes.
Yeah.
One thing I can't stand about the Catholics is you got to do that darn sign of peace in church. So, my God, when Kathy got to do the sign of peace, she'd stop the whole flipping match. Then I think, what's my problem? I didn't want to hug this person. I darn sure don't want to shake their hand. But Kathy was just going to throw love on everybody. So you start thinking, what the heck's my problem? I mean, I really got issues. And I could only have learned to get outside my comfort zone and to love and accept and not judge. Like you said, don't be a condemner, be a redeemer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh well, I just had to throw that
No,
in.
thank you.